Monster Hunter Wilds is nearly upon us, launching in a little over 2 weeks for Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and PC. The hype is palpable, especially given all the improvements, changes, and new features. And thankfully, there's no shortage of new details. Check out 15 new things you should know about Monster Hunter Wilds before pre-ordering. Newly revealed monsters. Following the latest showcase, the developer revealed another new monster, Hirabami, a leviathan who floats around and deals ice damage. It's found in Ice Shard Cliffs, the 4th confirmed region thus far, and seemingly travels in packs of 3, acting as much more of an annoyance for hunters. Confirmed returning monsters. Of course, even more classic monsters return, including Nerscylla, last seen in Generations Ultimate, and Gore Magala, who last rampaged through Sunbreak. The former is a Temnoceran who can web its prey and deal poison damage. The latter fights chaotically and serves as the amateur form of Shigaru Magala, an Elder Dragon. Power Clash. As you've probably seen throughout multiple trailers by now, a new mechanic called Power Clash can trigger while fighting. It sees the player and monster locked in a struggle to gain leverage, as you desperately mash the attack button. While it's not much more than a cool looking sequence, you can create a small opening after winning out. Strength levels for monsters. Opening the regional map in Wilds will display all the different monsters present at the time. If you hover over a specific target, you can see their strength level, which is, surprise surprise, an estimate of their power. So if you're venturing through the Windward Plains and see an Alpha Doshiguma with a 4-star strength level, maybe exercise some caution before diving in. Dialogue choices. Monster Hunter isn't full of branching choices and alternate endings like some other RPGs. However, Wilds is dabbling in dialogue choices, inspired by the Witcher 3 Wild Hunt collaboration quest for Monster Hunter World. Interestingly, the developer told IGN that they looked at the latter as a test for how players would react to dialogue options in a Monster Hunter title. Whether these choices offer more than just additional information on the setting and characters remains to be seen. HUD change. Another new feature inspired by a collaboration quest in World with Final Fantasy XIV is the names of attacks appearing in the heads-up display. Though meant to emulate the raid-like atmosphere of the MMO, it can offer some more context on the moves performed in Wilds. Besides, players like seeing the names of their attacks while performing them. Radial menu improvements. While Monster Hunter Wilds provides a whopping 8 radial menus to customize, up from 4, it also offers a new dynamic menu. This contains options that change on the fly, like selecting the best healing item for a situation. If you're slightly injured, the option for a potion appears. Close to death, a max potion option will also become available to consume. It's a great way to cut down even more on cycling through menus and receive the proper healing. Creating wounds while mounted. Wounds are new in Wilds and serve as little weak spots that you can target with focus strikes for more damage. While they'll appear naturally during fights as you damage a specific area, you can also wound a monster while mounting them. Even better is the fact that you can then destroy the wound while mounted, dealing massive damage and toppling the monster. Sharpening animations. Remember the good old days when taking damage could reset your weapon sharpening process if the animation wasn't completed? In Monster Hunter Wilds, each motion now individually contributes to the sharpness meter of a weapon. This means you can at least restore some sharpness, even if the process is interrupted for whatever reason. Return of decorations. Good or terrible news based on your struggles to min-max, decorations are returning, doled out completely at random. Present throughout the series, decorations offer additional skills of varying levels. The developer confirmed to IGN that they'll function similarly to World alongside the option to create single-skill decorations through other activities. Online single-player mode. Revealed during the recent showcase, online single-player mode will start you out in the lobbies that don't have other players. However, while exploring, you can choose the SOS Flare and it will immediately transition to online play to call on flesh and blood monster hunters to help out. Offline player is still very much an option though, so don't worry. Layered Armor. While Layered Armor is available as bonuses for pre-ordering or picking up the Deluxe Edition, you can also unlock the same when crafting high-rank equipment. This is essentially transmog and only changes the look of your armor without affecting its stats. Updated PC requirements. As promised, the development team has slightly lowered the requirements for playing on PC, while also outlining the hardware necessary for other settings. At the lowest preset, you'll now need a Core i5-10400, a Core i3-12100, or a Ryzen 5 3600 with 16GB of RAM and a GTX 1660 or Radeon RX 550 XT. This will ensure 1080 upscaled from 720 and 30 FPS at the lowest quality. Meanwhile, playing at 1440p 60 FPS with frame generation enabled requires the same level of Intel CPUs, an RTX 460 Ti or Radeon RX 6700 XT, and 16GB of RAM. If you want 4K, 60 FPS, and Ultra settings, you better have a Core i5-11600K or a Ryzen 7 5800X with an RTX 4070 Ti or Radeon RX 7800 XT with 16GB of RAM. Also, regardless of everything else, a solid-state drive with 75GB of free space is required. Those running the game at 4K settings can also download a high-resolution texture pack, though this bumps the installation space up to 150GB and requires a GPU with 16GB of VRAM. PC Benchmark Tool. If you're curious how your PC will cope with Wilds, a new benchmark tool is available, allowing the testing of various settings for cutscenes and gameplay. Based on how well your hardware performs, it will receive a score advising you on whether it's playable or whether some settings require changing. Granted, it's not a one-to-one guarantee for the full game's performance, but should provide a decent outline. PS5 Pro features. Monster Hunter Wilds will also launch with PS5 Pro support, with the developer confirming prioritized resolution and prioritized frame rate modes. The former will focus more on the resolution and image quality, while offering ray-traced reflections, while the latter runs at 60 frames per second and seemingly uses PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution for upscaling. The update will be available on day one for the consoles. Hey, did you know that we at GamingBolt upload new videos every day? Stick around, drop a like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and let us know what kind of content you'd like to see in the future with a comment below.